Lord. And then you got Satan there standing to the right hand side. So let's go get there. Romans chapter 7, verse brother should have these precepts lined up. These precepts kind of like street precepts. Brother should be going there, man. Romans chapter 7 and verse 21. Brother should have these precepts locked in, man. So Joshua was standing before the priest of the Lord. Joshua was standing before the angel of the Lord. But Satan was there also. Read.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 21. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me.
Read that again.
I find then a law that when I do good, evil is present with me.
So he's saying even when we do good, guess what? Evil right there, man. It's just always right there. Just like you think the good angels, they going there, they going wherever they want to go, they going around this earth. But then, guess what? These good angels going all around the earth, but the bad angels doing the same exact thing. They going up and down that ladder the same way. What you think Job chapter 1 is going into? Showing you that the good angels and the bad, and they both is there, they both present. Both of them is present in front of the Most High God. You think the bad angels they're gonna report way over there? They're not gonna report way over there. They're gonna report right here to the Most High God, just like all the rest of the angels report. The good angel gonna report right there, and the bad angel gonna report right there too. They can't get away. And then he said Satan was on the right hand side of it. And y'all know what the right hand side is supposed to be for the good. So why was he right there? Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 11. How was he on the right side? Let's go get some more understanding. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 14.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Because Satan himself can transform. That's why he can be able to go on the right side. He can transform himself into an angel of light. Because guess what? When good there, guess what? Satan is right there too. That's why you think about when Christ coming up off the 40-day fast, he should have been full strength. Full strength. But Satan said, oh, this is weakest part of his flesh. I can get it. Spirit was working in Christ, man. He the son of the Most High God, man. You got to think about how Satan thinks so carnal. It's a carnal way of thinking. And he have you, when you go carnal, guess what? He got you. You go carnal, he go carnal, he love you. Christ never went, you see the whole time when Christ was cutting Satan up, he never went carnal with him. He went spiritual the whole time. And that's how we should be thinking. Because guess what? Even our forefathers, when they go carnal, guess what? They lose out. But when they stay spiritual, you see the win. Victory after victory after victory. Undefeated when you stay spiritual. But when you go carnal, that's what things change in your life. Things starting to happen. And guess what? It be uncontrollably, man. It be uncontrolled. It be out of your control. Because guess what? Satan right there to redeem what is his. What the Most High gave him dominion over, man.
Let's get a precept real quick. Just like what Ike's going to give me Romans chapter 8, verse 6. That's why it's a constant battle between your flesh and your spirit, like Ike is saying. The good versus the evil. You know, all these things are going to be a constant battle. You know, and that's the conditions of the war. And we got to fight.
The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 6. Or to be carnal minded is death.
Read that again,
Or to be carnal minded is death.
It says, for to be carnally minded is death. So when we thinking on a carnal mindset, on a fleshly mindset, guess what? We bringing death to ourselves. That's why we always tell brothers and sisters to do what? Stay in the spirit. Like we mean that thing, man. Like constantly be thinking about the law, statutes, commandments. Constantly be thinking about the scriptures, especially when you get into heated situations, because that's what's going to pull you up out of those situations. Thinking upon the scriptures, thinking upon the law. Read on out.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Is what?
Life and peace.
Because when you get into a situation, you start thinking about the commandments, like you got an outing with your brother or your sister. what should you be instantly thinking about? Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Or going into Matthew, forgive the wrong that your brother had done unto thee. This is what keep brothers and sisters in the spirit when you thinking and meditating upon the scriptures. Go ahead,
because like you say, even like people when they first go get to with their brothers and sisters, they first thing they think is Matthew 18 and 15, and you skip over Matthew 7. Judge not, lest ye be judged. Because now, well, shoot, I do the same thing. I'm gonna leave that sister alone. Because what matter judgment you put on somebody, you're gonna meet that judgment. Let's start there first before you get to Matthew's 18 and 15. Brothers, sisters, we skip over Matthew chapter 7 because when you try to judge somebody on the same matter that you dealing with yourself, it's gonna be a problem. You're gonna meet that same thing again, man. That's the thing that we must always spiritual. Always spiritual. The decision that we make should be a spiritual thing. It should never go carnal. Brothers and sisters got a problem or issue in there, guess what? I don't care how you feel, it should always go spiritual. When it don't go spiritual, the problem sets in.
That's right.
Because you can argue with me, I can argue with you. You ain't gonna say no more than I'm gonna say, and I ain't gonna say no more than what you gonna say, because that's what we're doing, just talking back and forth. But when we let God be true and every man be a liar, that's when the situation get resolved.
Because it just said it, like I was breaking out. Spiritually minded is life and peace. When you thinking on a spiritual type level, you have that peace. But when you thinking carnally, it won't be no peace. I'm talking about no peace, man. Go ahead.
I won't. Let's go back to 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14 again.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Read.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
Because guess what? It said it's no great thing. Well, guess what? Even Satan ministered to show some righteousness, man. It's no great thing for that. They can show something. Guess what? It's all for the deceit. It's people got Israelites' name on their camp. And guess what? They teach everything but that. We watch these brothers pull people smooth out the truth, man, with an Israelite name. You got to watch out for some of them brothers, man. You got to be mindful. Because I hear some brothers sometimes, I hear them, I watch the Blaze Judah. Yeah, you watching brothers, your ass is finna get pulled out this truth. If you ain't strong enough. I watch Big Judah pull your ass smooth out this truth. You ain't strong enough. You thinking that you can get by. These brothers get set. They is already set to do what they gonna do, man. They already set. They already set. And there's more out there. Got Israelites' name, but guess what? Do they teach it? Because guess what they got? In the background, they got their Edomite goddamn wife up in here, and they ain't trying to let her go, so they're gonna preach all around there to make you think that God loves everybody. But when we read it, God say he don't love everybody. This is a damn shame, man. Read verse 15 again.
Verse 15 from the top.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
Read.
Whose end shall be according to their works.
Because at the end of the thing, they ministry and what they bring forth, they're gonna be judged according to their works, man. So don't think that. Guess what? Just like Satan transformed to a marvel light, guess what? His ministers do the same thing. Ready to pull somebody out this walk, man. They ready. But guess what? Brothers and sisters can get caught up. There's plenty of brothers who get caught up. I done heard brothers and sisters say these names. But guess what? We done seen in times past how these brothers done pull these brothers. We done seen it. All of a sudden, they go from one thing to the next thing they ever learning, but never coming into the knowledge of the truth anymore. Done seen it happen. Brothers got, hey, slow your pace down. Guess what? The Most High got you in the camp. If you watching camp that don't agree with the camp you watching, you might need to back up. Unless you need to go join them camps that you think you need to watch. That's as long as brothers and sisters gather with it, gather with it. Guess what? Because guess what? You can't make this Bible fit your life. You gotta make your life fit this Bible. Keep saying the same thing over and over. Hoping brothers and sisters catch on. It's good. Go ahead.
This is the way you identify those
devils transformed into an angel of light. Give me Isaiah 8:20. Because they'll look the part, they'll say all the right words, make it sound real good to you. But the Lord showed us how to identify that wolf in sheep clothing. That devil is transformed into an angel of light. Read that out.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Scriptures say to the law, which is the law, statutes, and commandments, and to the testimony. Everything in here, every prophet in here, Yahweh, even Yahweh, giving a testimony in his Bible. If they not speaking according to this word, if what they saying don't line up with the rest of the prophets, with Christ, with the Most High, with the laws, then there ain't no light in them. And what's the light? What's the light? Proverbs 6:23. Because they're not going to be telling you to be obedient. They're going to be telling you everything else but being obedient to the Most High God. And when you see the brothers that's really obedient to the Most High God, it's going to be repetition. They're going to tell you the same thing. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Obey the Lord. Not coming over here with no side doctrines or making excuses on why you don't have to do nothing. It said to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, what the prophets say, what Yahweh shall say, it ain't no light in them, man.
Who got the precept real quick to that? What you got, Isaiah? Say it loud out. That is the precept. Brothers need to write that thing down, man. 1 Peter 4:11. It's saying the same thing in the New Testament that it's saying right here in the Old Testament.
Let's go back to Zechariah chapter 3. Start at verse 1 again. Get there and read it out.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And he shewed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord.
Read that. Read.
And Satan standing at his right hand to resist him.
And he said, it's Satan at his right hand to resist him. You should know that that marvel light that was coming from the right hand, if it's resisting on the right hand side, you should know it was wrong. Say if it's an angel on the right hand side resisting, you should already know this is out of place. Nothing's on the right hand side is out of place, man. But if you see an angel on the right hand side ready to resist, that means that thing is out of place, man. Read.
Verse 2. And the Lord said unto Satan.
And the Lord, he said, and the Lord said unto Satan, man, read.
The Lord rebuked thee.
And the Lord rebuked him, man, read.
O Satan.
He said, oh Satan, man, read.
Even the Lord that had chosen Jerusalem.
He said,
rebuked thee.
He said, this is the Lord. He said, I'm the Lord that chose Israel. Rebuke you, Satan, read.
Is not this a brand plucked out of the fire?
Let's go to Sirach chapter 2 and verse 5. He said, is this not the brand that was plucked out the fire? Go to Sirach chapter 2 and verse 5. When you get there, let's read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
For gold is tried in the fire.
Read that again.
For gold is tried in the fire.
We are that gold that's tried in the fire. That's why the Most High God saying rebuke you, O Satan, because he know the gold that he brought through the fire. That's why I say, is this not the gold that was plucked out the fire? Yes, we are that gold that's plucked out the fire, man.
Meaning what? Guess what? The same thing he said to Job. The same exact thing.
No different. Like I said, the same thing. We are that gold that's tried in the fire, man. Read.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
And it said acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, man. These are acceptable because guess what? The Most High God said, I tried these. The same way to King David, they told him to go slay Goliath. They gave him all his armor. And David said, no, I didn't prove these. I didn't try these. He didn't prove it. But the Most High God said, no, I know who I proved. That's why he know who he can trust. He said, no, I'm the God of Jerusalem. I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He know who he got and tried in the fire.
Because you even got to stay spiritual when you're going through things, man. A lot of times when problems come on brothers and sisters, they think even on the corner mind with that level. You got to understand that the Most High God is putting you through that situation to build you up on something. You got to take heed to that counsel, man. You got to be able to see the signs and be able to adjust. Because, like we always say, man, brothers and sisters ain't gonna respect the kingdom unless we work for that thing. If it was just given to us, man, we'll squander that thing away, man, like it's nothing, man.
Like we have always done.
Yep.
Like we go cry to the Lord, and the Lord said, you know what? I see him crying. Come on back. No, the Lord said, no. We got to come back on hands and knees now. You just like somebody that's, you just think about a child was a crackhead or whatever. They're on drugs. You keep helping them. After a while, you be like, shh. No, you got to prove to me you really going to try to stop this.
That's right.
Because I ain't going to keep on helping you and you keep on burning me. You keep on doing what I told you not to do. No, I'm not going to keep helping you. You do all the wrong thing. The child really going to have to prove that they really, you got to show me that you really trying to get up off this stuff for me to help you. They even did this back in Moses' time. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 20. It's a precept. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 20.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 20. But the Lord had taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace.
Out of the what?
Out of the iron furnace.
And the Lord has always tried us in furnaces, man. Through the fire. That's how he always tried us through the fire, man. Read.
Even out of Egypt. To be unto him a people of inheritance. As ye are this day.
As we are this day. The Most High God still trying us through the same iron furnace, man. He constantly keep trying us to see. Yeah. Brothers and sisters don't understand. We go through these tests.
That's right.
We go through them.
Because what is this? This spiritual Egypt. Same thing.
It's the same thing. Can't get away around it, man. Can't get away around it, man. Let's go back to Zechariah chapter 3.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 3. Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments.
So now he said, but Joshua was clothed with filthy garments, man. Read.
And stood before the angel.
And he said he stood before the angel. You know, some people might have this written down in their Bible. We going there anyway. Isaiah chapter 64, verse 6. Because he give us a better understanding of what this is going into, man. It was all a better understanding. That's what we strive for, to get a better understanding of the scriptures, man.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 64 and verse 6. For we are all as unclean things.
Read.
And all our righteousness are as filthy rags.
And all of our unrighteousness is are as filthy rags, man. Read.
And we all do fade as a leaf. And our iniquities, like the wind, had taken us away.
Because guess what, man? At any given moment, in our iniquities, man, any given moment, we could be taken away. It's just like a leaf. The Most High God's given us the perfect example, like a leaf. In any given time, we could be taken away. Brothers, sisters, we got to pray against that thing, man, that we're going to be taken, that we won't be tossed to and fro. That's why I said you can be tossed. That's why you can be tossed to and fro, because any given time, our unrighteousness can be like a leaf, being tossed to and fro. We don't want that for ourselves, man. Let's go back, man.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 4. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying,
What do you say, y'all?
Take away the filthy garments from him.
So he said, he stood. Now the angel stood in front of Joshua. He said, man, take away the filthy garments from him, man. Read.
And unto him he said, Behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee.
He said, I done caused your iniquity to pass from you. So it's just Joshua now at this time he's taking off the filthy garment now, because the filthy garment is going into the iniquity that was in him, man. He said, I'm taking all these things away. Read.
And I will clothe thee with a change of raiment.
So now he said, I'm clothing thee with a change of raiment, man. Let's go get this right quick, man. Let's go to Revelation chapter 3. This is going into the 7 churches. He's saying basically going into the same thing, man. Revelation chapter 3, we're going to start at verse 1. Most High God was saying basically into the same thing, man.
the book of Revelation.
Church of Sardis. Go ahead,
The book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 1. And unto the angel of the church in Sardis write, these things said he that had the 7 spirits of God,
read.
and the 7 stars.
Read.
I know thy works.
Read on.
That thou hast a name, that thou livest and art dead.
Read.
Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain.
So he's saying, guess what? He said he's seen in this church. Guess what? He got seen some things that's living, but they dead. They were spiritually dead, but he seen things that were living. So that's why he said, be watchful and strengthen. Read.
They are ready to die.
Read on.
For I have not found thy works perfect before God.
Because everything that they were doing in the church at the time, it wasn't a perfect work, but they had some righteousness that was in them. So guess what? The angels were trying to help build. He said, well, what was remaining? Guess what? Build upon them things. And that's just like how we be in this walk. The things that we go through, guess what remains? We always supposed to build upon them things, man. Read on.
Verse 3. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent.
Now he's telling them to everything that you had, guess what? Hold fast and repent, man. Read.
If, therefore, thou shalt not watch.
So he said, if you don't watch, read.
I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee.
But he said, if you don't watch, he said, I'm gonna come upon you as a thief, and you ain't gonna know what's gonna hit you. We know how we get sometimes when brothers and sisters get caught up in their iniquity and they high-minded sometimes, then the Most High God just have to come on and bring that judgment on you. You think you done got away with it, then you bring that heat on you. Read.
Verse 4. Thou hast a few names, even in Sardis.
So now it's telling us we have a few names, even in Sardis. Read.
Which have not defiled their garments.
Which have not defiled their garments. It's just a few of them. The Most High God, as you already know, the Most High God always keep a remnant, man. Read.
And they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy.
Because he said these people that does not have defiled themselves, guess what? These people gonna walk in white with them. And you know the precept today, Ecclesiastes 9 and 8. Let thy garment be always white. Read on.
He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment.
He said, he that overcometh shall be clothed in white garments, man. Read.
And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels.
So guess what? This is going, like you say, going back into the same thing he was telling the church of Sardis, man. The same thing he like looking at Joshua now. Joshua walking according to the Most High, man. I can't blot his name out because guess what? I'm gonna take this filthy garment up off him. I'm gonna give him a righteous garment, man. For him to keep his law, statutes, and walk perfectly with the Most High, man. This is what we supposed to be doing in our everyday walk. Guess what? Any filth that we got in our garment, we need to cleanse these things, wash these things up, so we can walk with that white garment at all times, man. Let's go back to Zechariah chapter 3. Verse 5, man.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 5. And I said, let them set a fair
Mitri
upon his head. So they set a fair Mitri upon his head, and clothed him with garments. And the angel of the Lord stood by.
So as they clothed Joshua, they put the Mitri upon his head, and then they clothed him with the white raiments, man. And the angel stood by him, man. Read.
And the angel of the Lord protested unto Joshua, saying,
read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, if thou wilt walk in my ways, and if thou wilt keep my charge.
Now, the angel is talking in a representative of the Most High. Because the angel don't control nothing. The angel just telling Joshua what the Most High is saying. It's saying that, thus said the Lord of hosts, if thou wilt walk in my ways. He's talking, the angel is talking, it's the spokesman for the Most High at this time, man. Read.
Then thou shalt also judge my house.
Read.
And shalt also keep my courts.
Read.
And I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by.
Let's go to 2 Corinthians. No, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, man. He says he's going to give him a place in his house. Let's go get there, man. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2.
The book of
1 Corinthians chapter 6. Salaki.
the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Because when you walking in righteousness, knowing what's to come, the saints gonna be judging the world. That's how we get placed in the Most High God's house. The Most High God give us enough honor that we gonna be walking in His glory, man. He said the saints gonna be judging the world, man. Read.
And if the world shall be judged by you,
Read.
are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matter?
And you think about it, man. Us in the physical right now, man. Brothers and sisters, do you think we can't judge the smallest matters, man? We got the scriptures right here. We should be able to judge the smallest matter. We should be able to get the best understanding that the Most High God give us, man. Read.
Know ye not that we shall judge the angels?
Because this is even in the Most High God's court and in His house, we will be judging the angels as well as the people. Everybody will be getting judged, man. The good angels and the bad angels, everybody got to come take their place, man. Why you think He said even the lions gonna be eating grass and children gonna be out playing with them? Everything gonna be in order, man. Most High God ain't gonna play no games, man. When He set His kingdom back up, it's gonna be perfect, man, in all aspects, man. Guess what? And the saints that's gonna be worthy of that thing, guess what? They're gonna be right there judging the people, and they're gonna be judging the angels as well, man. Read.
How much more things that pertain to this life?
Mm-hmm.
If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life,
Read.
set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church.
And so He said the things that was in this, when He's talking about the least esteemed in the church, it means to the people that's humble and meek, the people that's in lowly, man. And a lot of these people that's humble and meek are the people that's supposed to, and then that's being most of the people that's supposed to be in leadership is supposed to be the humble and meek, that was at low esteem, because the ones that's up high are supposed to be what? The servants to the people. We the ones supposed to be the servants to the people. Guess what, man? We don't supposed to go make you a sandwich, go get you a drink all day long. That ain't the type of service we got. We the Most High God expecting us. What Peter said, should we come up our ministry to wait table? No, we ain't gonna come out. But we're gonna tell you, thus said the Lord, to help build that spirit up. That's the servant that the Most High God expecting us to be. He ain't expecting us to come, call, Captain Jerubbaal, can you come over here, man, in my house, make me a sandwich? No, I ain't gonna come in and make you no damn sandwich. No, we're gonna be servants of the Most High. We're gonna tell you, thus said the Lord. That's what He expecting us to be. Let's go back, man. You got something on? Because you got to also, let me see. I got it. Matter of fact, let's go to Revelation right quick before we go back to Zechariah. Go to Revelation chapter 22 and verse 8. Show y'all something right quick. Your brothers and sisters didn't know that they finna learn today.
The book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 8.
Read.
And I, John, saw these things and heard them.
Read.
And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel who shewed me these things.
So now John, looking at the prophecies that was going by, and he seen and he heard it. So John, looking at the angel, he bowed himself down to the angel, man. Read.
Then said he unto me,
Read.
See thou do it not.
So the angel said, don't do that, man. Read.
For I am thy fellow servant.
He said, I am your fellow servant, man. Read.
And of thy brethren, the prophets.
And he said he's one of the brethren. That's why we're going to be able to judge angels, because the angels is our brethren. That's why we able to judge them. The same work we got to do, they got to do the same dang on thing. They got to do work too. They always doing work, man. What we fail to realize, these angels is always doing work. You up there sleep, the angels up there recording everything. Yeah, he doing this. Yeah, he did this. Yeah, he did that. The angels recording, they doing their job. Read on.
And of them which keep the sayings of this book, worship God.
Worship who?
Worship God.
If the angels tell don't worship me, you worship God. Telling John to get up off your face, you worship God. I'm just like I'm your brother. Don't give me that. Don't give me that credit. He didn't want that credit. Even Christ himself. Guess what? People give Christ, they want to esteem Christ and the Most High to be the same thing Christ himself. Don't give me that credit. We can go get that too. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 5.
The book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 5. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus.
So he said, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ. The same mind Christ had, he said, let this mind also be in you. Read.
Who, being in the form of God.
He was in the form of God. Read.
Thought it not robbery to be equal with God.
He said, yeah, he said, thought this is robbery. If he be even try to think himself to be equal to God, this would be robbery. He wants us to have the same mindset. So why when people talking about the Trinity doctrine, it's over. It's too much, man. He don't want you to esteem him like that. No. That's why he said, no, you worship God. You're not gonna play that game either. The angels know better, Christ know better. The Most High God is who he is, man. Let's go back to Zechariah, man. Chapter 3. Yeah, you can start with it.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 7 at the top. Thus said the Lord of hosts,
Read.
if thou wilt walk in my ways, and if thou wilt keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house,
Read.
and shalt also keep my courts, and I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by.
Because guess what, man? That's what the Most High said he's gonna set up. We're gonna be the ones that judge in the world, man. We got to be worthy to judge the world. Our mindset gonna have to change from how we think, because a lot of people, they like to exalt themselves. A lot of people like to abase them. A lot of people like to exalt themselves, and that makes them abase. We always got to be humble in the sight of the Most High. He's not gonna keep on giving us this thing that we think we got. I was thinking the other day how many classes I had that I never even used. This right here, that don't mean a damn thing. If I got a whole bunch of classes, Most High God said, what you gonna teach is what you gonna teach. I give you what you gonna teach. You don't teach a damn thing. You don't run nothing. And I'm thinking back, you know what all that showed me? He was making me do these classes so to get me to stay in the Bible more. That's why he was putting it on my spirit more, to stay in the Bible more, because he was going to give me a better increase. And I'm thinking that, oh man, I got some classes. I'm just sitting on now, and I'm gonna continue to keep sitting on unless the Most High God make me put these classes out. He just want us to give. He just want to give us the increase. You can't give you no increase. You don't have power to give no increase. That's why Paul said, "I planted the seed. Apollos watered. The Most High give the increase." That's 1 Corinthians chapter 3. We ain't got no power, man. The Most High God gives these things, man. He gets the glory. If we give all praise to the Most High, do we give him all praises? Or do we give ourselves some? Read on now.
Verse 8. Hear now, O Joshua the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee.
Read.
For they are men wondered at.
They said there are men. He said Joshua's the high priest, and he said your fellows that sit among you, they are men that wondered at, man. Read.
For behold, I will bring forth my servant the branch.
Because you see how the Most High God talks all the time. He tell you, I'm bringing my servant. He always say, I'm bringing my servant. Think about how the Most High God speaks on the people that he have.
Who is that branch talking about, Brother Samuel?
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1 real quick.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out the stem of Jesse.
So we know that Jesse had David, and David ultimately goes down the line in the lineage of Christ. Read on.
And a branch shall grow out his roots.
Now it's talking about a branch. It's talking about a specific branch, which is who? Which is Christ. Read on up.
And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him.
And the Spirit of the Lord did rest upon Christ. Read on.
The Spirit of wisdom and understanding.
When he came out of the womb, he was filled with wisdom and understanding. Read on up.
The Spirit of counsel and might.
Many of some of his titles. Read on.
The Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord.
And he was of the fear of the Most High God, meaning he did everything that the Most High God commanded him to. Read on up.
And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord.
In the what?
In the fear of the Lord.
Read on up.
And he shall not judge after the sight of his
So
eyes.
Christ, when he judged righteous judgment. He wasn't judging on sight. Read on up.
Neither reproof after the hearings of his ears.
Of his ears, meaning he judged the spirit. He's looking at that spirit inside of you, seeing if you lining up with thus said the Lord. And guess what? If you wasn't, he was going to get a sharp rebuke from Christ. Let's go back.
Matter of fact, let's get another precept because we're going to have to deal with that. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23 and 5. Because we know our Old Testament Israelite brothers, they some reachers. Got to go and deal with that too.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 5. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord,
Read.
that I will rise unto David a righteous branch.
He said, unto David a righteous branch. Man, read.
And a king shall reign and prosper.
Read.
And shall execute judgment and justice in the earth.
So, but they'll read this and say, oh man, King David gonna be the king, man. I done literally seen brothers sit up there and read that, but we're gonna read it slowly. We said, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch. They miss over. Now King David's gonna be the king. Let's go to Revelation chapter 22, verse 16, man. See what Christ say.
Revelations chapter 22, verse 16. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches.
Read.
I am the root and the offspring of David.
He said he's that root and offspring of David. That lineage, that thing that's supposed to came out of David, Christ telling you plainly, he is that offspring of, I am that root and that offspring of David. He's saying it plain. Read.
And the bright and morning star.
And he said he's the bright and morning star. Christ said it plain, man. Can't get nowhere behind that, man. They can reach all they want to, man. It said unto David he was going to bring a branch. He didn't say David was the branch. Christ made it clear, no, because we know a lot of the Old Testament Israelites, they believe Revelations. They skip all the New Testament, but then they'll believe Revelation. So let's show you what Revelation say. Let's go back to Zechariah chapter 3 and verse 9.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 9. For behold, the stone that I had laid before Joshua, upon one stone shall be 7 eyes.
He said the stone that he laid before Joshua, he said this stone will be 7 eyes. Let's go see what this stone is. Go to Matthew chapter 21. 21 and 42.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 21, verses 42. Jesus said unto them, did ye never read in the scripture
Read.
the stone which the builders rejected? The same is become the head of the corner.
Read on.
This is the Lord's stone, and it is marvelous in our eyes.
What's that precept? What's that precept? What he said? It said, did ye never read in the scripture? What's that precept? You said who? We take that one. We'll take that. That's a good read. Also, you can go to Psalm chapter 18 and verse 22.
118.
118, Shalak. Psalm chapter 118. That line up good with that too. Isaiah chapter 28 and 16. That's that stone it was talking about. Let's go get them 7 eyes, see what it's talking about. Let's go back to Zechariah, man. Chapter 4. And start at verse 9.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 4 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
The hands of Jerubbaal, Shalak, have laid the foundation of this house.
So now this is going into Zerubbabel staying in the stead, giving the understanding of what Christ is supposed to be coming to do, man. Read.
His hands shall also finish it.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts had sent me unto you.
Read.
For who had despised the day of the small things?
He said, now it's actually you who had despised the day of the small things, man. Read.
For they shall rejoice.
He said they gonna rejoice, man. Read on.
And shall see the plummet in the hand of Jerubbaal.
Read.
With those 7.
With those 7, read.
They are the eyes of the Lord.
Those 7 are the eyes of the Lord, man. To give brothers and sisters better understanding, those 7 eyes are the eyes of the Lord, man. Read.
Which run to and fro through the whole earth.
So what is the eyes is going into? The angels.
I was just about to ask you about that.
He whispered it. I see. Yeah. Those eyes is going into the angels. And brothers and sisters get better understanding of that, man. Let's go to Revelation chapter 5 and verse 5.
The book of Revelations, chapter 5 and verse 5. And one of the elders said unto me,
Read.
Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David.
It's going back into the same thing that we just read already. It's just precepting on down to what we already read in Zechariah, in Isaiah. This precept is going all the way down that we just read in Jeremiah chapter 23, Revelation 22 and 16. All these precepts with Revelation 5 and 5, man. Read.
Had prevailed to the open, had prevailed to open the book, and to lose the 7 seals thereof.
And to loose the 7 seals thereof. Read on.
7 seals thereof. Verse 6. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne, and the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders,
read.
Stood a lamb.
Stood a what?
Stood a lamb.
Read.
As it had been slain.
As it had been slain, man. Read.
Having 7 horns.
Read.
And 7 eyes.
And had 7 eyes. Read.
Which are the 7 spirits of God. Sent forth into all the earth.
These are 7 spirits of the Most High God. This is going into the angels. 7 spirits that the Most High God sent out, man. This is give us a further breakdown of what Zechariah chapter 3 and verse 9 is going into, man. Let's go back. Book of Zechariah chapter 3 and verse 9.
The book of Zechariah chapter 3 verse 9. For behold, the stone that I had laid before Joshua, upon one stone shall be 7 eyes.
He said, upon one stone shall be 7 eyes, man. Read.
Behold, I will engrave the graving thereof, said the Lord of hosts.
Said the Lord of hosts. Read on.
And I will remove the iniquity of that land in one day.
Because guess what? This is going back into how the Most High God is going to be purging our land. Same way he took Joshua coat off, a filthy rag that he take off the iniquity. Guess what? The same way he's going to take the same iniquity out of the land of Israel. And he's going to restore those things back into whole. The same way that we expecting to come back, that the Most High expecting us to come back to him, man. He like the Most High God see us in a lower state, but what he's doing, he's renewing us and he's changing us and giving us new life, man. Giving us an opportunity to be renewed in him. Go ahead.
Now, is that one day? Is that literal one day? Anybody got the precept? What y'all think the precept is? I gave y'all a hint right there. He said one day. Brother should know that precept. What you got, Isaiah? Precept. Quote it. What you got, Barakai?
Look,
Do you know the name? He just gave it to you. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word are kept in store, reserved unto the fire against the day of judgment.
So like you jump down to verse 8.
Like verse 8. But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
So one day that goes by is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like one day. And this is the different concepts of time, because like to us, hey, it's 1,000 years is 1,000 damn years to us, but it's on a whole nother level when it comes to the Most High God. But this is a precept for that, saying it's not literally a one day, but it's over a disposition of time over a period of 1,000 years.
Good precept. Let's go back. Zechariah chapter 3.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
In that day, said the Lord of hosts, shall ye call every man his neighbor.
Shall ye call every man his neighbor. Read.
Under the vine, and under the fig tree,
and under the fig tree. Let's go to Micah, chapter 4, verse 4.
The book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 4.
I know Micah sometimes be running from you right after Jonah.
The book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 4. But they shall sit every man under his vine, and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid.
He said, and none shall make us afraid. Read.
For the mouth of the Lord of hosts had spoken.
Jump up to verse 2 right quick, God.
The book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his way.
Guess what? And he gonna teach us. He gonna teach their way. He gonna teach us. He gonna teach all nations his ways, man. Because every knee gonna bow, man, and every tongue will confess, man. Read.
And we will walk in his paths. For the Lord, for the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
He said, the Lord, he said his word gonna come forth out of Zion, and the word will come from the Lord of Jerusalem, man. That's why the Most High God is gonna start cleansing. He's trying to, same way he took that garment out of Joshua and re-cleansed them, is the same way he gonna cleanse us. He'll cleanse our land, he'll cleanse our spirits. All these things will be renewed, man. But we got to be steadfast in his word, man. That's the only way we can be able to get out of this hellhole that we in right now, man. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom, man. Say follow God's law, statutes, and commandments. I guess we can bring out the law. Brothers and sisters watching online, man, all praise to the Most High for you brothers and sisters, man. Like and share the video, man. Help us put this truth around the four corners of the earth, man. And the brothers and sisters that gave in to the cause, all praise to the Most High for you brothers and sisters, man. We will be planning a trip coming to Houston real soon. Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 17.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 17. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another, but thou shalt fear thy God, for I am the Lord your God.
He said we shouldn't oppress each other, one another. He said, because the Lord, guess what, man? He made us all as Israel to be equal. We don't oppress each other, man. We don't hold each other back. We don't hate on each other, man. And with that, say shalom.
Oh.